Welcome to this webinar about how to make a supplementary declaration for imports using Customs Declaration Service. And for the remainder of this webinar, we'll refer to this as CDS. This webinar is only for traders who imported goods into Great Britain on or before the 31st of December 2021, or are still importing goods from Ireland to Great Britain using the delayed declaration process. It explains how to send your supplementary declaration using CDS. As of the 1st of January 2022, full customs controls are now in place for trading with the European Union, except for the island of Ireland. Full customs declarations and payment of relevant tariffs will be needed on all goods you import from the EU, except Ireland, at the time of import, unless you or your agent are authorised to use simplified customs declarations processes. For goods brought into Great Britain, that's England, Scotland and Wales, from the EU before the 1st of January 2022, you may be able to make a simplified entry in your records when you import them and delay sending HMRC full information about your goods by up to 175 days later. For goods coming from most countries in the EU, you can no longer delay making import customs declarations under the stage customs controls rules that applied during 2021. However, for non-control goods brought into Great Britain, that's England, Scotland and Wales, from the island of Ireland, you may still be able to delay sending HMRC the full information about your goods by up to 175 calendar days after import. During this webinar, we'll be looking at how you make a delayed supplementary declaration for imports using the Customs Declaration Service, or CDS, and not by using the services of an intermediary such as a customs agent or courier. If you are using a customs agent or courier, this webinar may also help you understand what information you may need to give them if they make a supplementary declaration on your behalf. There will be a slide at the end of the webinar showing useful links to further help and support. So let's look at when you can delay supplementary declarations. You can delay declarations if you import goods into free circulation in Great Britain from EU free circulation between the 1st of January and the 31st of December 2021, or are importing goods into free circulation in Great Britain from the island of Ireland, and your goods are not controlled, and HMRC hasn't told you that you cannot delay declarations. When you can't delay declarations. If you're importing controlled goods, or you've been told by HMRC you can't delay your declarations, you must follow the normal rules for making an import declaration at the time your goods are imported. You can find more information and guidance on gov.uk. Before your declaration is due. Before this supplementary declaration is due, you must choose which simplified declaration authorization to apply for. Check when your first supplementary declaration will be due. For goods imported in 2021 or from the island of Ireland, this is no later than 175 days from the date goods were imported into Great Britain. Apply for authorization as soon as possible, at least 60 days before you need to make your first supplementary declaration. Get access to the Customs Declaration Service and buy software that works with the Customs Declaration Service. If you intend to import goods using simplified declarations after the 1st of January 2022 from anywhere other than the island of Ireland, you or your agent must be authorised to use simplified declarations before you import the goods. Your supplementary declaration will usually be due by the 4th working day of the month, following the month in which the import happened. Let's look at how to complete your supplementary declaration. To make supplementary declarations yourself, you must be authorised for simplified customs declaration processes. You'll be asked for information throughout the declaration that can be found in your commercial records, such as your purchase orders or invoices. Please make sure you have these records available to help you accurately complete the declaration and avoid any unnecessary delays when completing it. Please note that software packages for making supplementary import declarations via CDS vary, but the information recorded is the same. We are explaining what information you need to put in the relevant boxes to complete your supplementary declaration. But the fields and questions may be in a different order, or there may be additional ones in your software. So let's get started. Log into CDS via your software package. Data element declaration type, and here you enter IM for importing. Group 1. Data element 1/2, and as I've already mentioned, you must be authorised for simplified customs processes, as entry in declarant's records or simplified declaration procedure, before you can submit your supplementary import declaration. Enter here the relevant code for the authorisation that you hold as follows. Code Y for a simplified declaration procedure, and code Z for entry in declarant's records, or EIDR. If you hold an authorization for both SDP and EIDR, enter code Z. (1/6), and this identifies the specific item you're currently filling out information for. For example, item number 5 of 12 items. 1/8, and this can be left blank. Your system ID will replace the need for a signature. 1/9, and enter here the total number of goods items you're declaring on this declaration. 1/10, and you're only allowed to use delayed declarations to release goods into free circulation. The procedure code identifies the customs regime which goods are being entered into and if they were previously in a different procedure. The procedure is a 4-digit code. The first 2 digits say which procedure you've released the goods into, for example, free circulation. The third and fourth digit is the procedure the goods were in previously, for example, if the goods were in a customs warehouse. If you imported goods into free circulation under delayed declarations, the first 2 digits will be either 40 or 61. You can find more information in the Tariff for CDS document on gov.uk. 1/11, and this is a 3-digit code which relates to a specific set of circumstances which applies to your goods. For example, for samples you would use one code to claim the duty relief, and another code to claim the VAT relief. You'll need to look up your 4-digit procedure code entered in data element 1/10 on the correlation matrix to see which 3-digit codes can be used with it. If you don't, the system will reject it. You should look up each of the permitted 3-digit codes in the index list to see which codes apply to you or your goods. Depending on the circumstances that apply, you may need more than one additional procedure code. You'll need to check every permitted code to make sure you have the necessary codes for your goods. Group 2. Data element 2/1. On delayed declarations, you must enter YDCR followed by the declaration unique consignment reference quoted in the entry in declarant records. You must then enter YCLE followed by the date the goods were entered into your entry in declarant records. You may need to make more entries on the declaration depending on the procedure code shown in data entry box 1/10. 2/2, and the codes provided here are used to give any extra information that is needed to process the customs declaration and help customs identify what information is being provided and why. The information is declared using a specific code, followed by the additional information needed. The additional information needed may include relationships between different parties involved in the declaration, restrictions that may apply to the goods, specific processes intended to be carried out on the goods whilst under customs control, and names and addresses of parties and premises involved. As an example, the code 00500 means the trader is submitting the declaration themselves. 2/3. A document code with a reference number or other details to be declared is used to provide authorization decision numbers such as simplified declaration procedure, entry in declarant's records, deferment, customs comprehensive guarantee, license reference numbers, preference certificates, veterinary or health certificates, and quantities where required, invoices, other commercial documents such as packing lists. When using delayed declarations, you must enter your simplified customs declaration procedure authorization here by entering document code C514. If there's customs duty to pay, enter document codes C505 and C506. You must also declare any document codes needed by measures against the commodity code of the goods. For example, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, or CITES goods. You can find this in the UK Global Online Tariff. And details of other additional codes can be found on gov.uk. 2/4. You can choose to use a commercial reference number for your own purposes if you want to. Otherwise, you can leave this blank. 2/5. And here you need to enter a unique reference number which identifies the submission to CDS. For example, if you submit a declaration and change it in future, those changes should have different reference numbers so different versions can be easily identified. 2/6. As part of your authorization for simplified customs procedures, you will need a duty deferment account to be able to pay customs duty and import VAT that is due. You must enter your relevant deferment approval number given to you by HMRC here. If your goods were in a customs warehouse before moving into free circulation, enter the warehouse number where your goods were stored. Group 3. 3/1. And enter here the name and address of the exporter. This is the persons who sold you the goods outside Great Britain. You don't need to provide an EORI number here if you've given the exporter's name and address. 3/15, and you can leave this blank if you've provided a number in the data element box 3/16. 3/16, and here enter the EORI number of the person who imported the goods. 3/17, and leave this field blank. 3/18, and here you enter your EORI number as the person making the declaration. 3/19, and you leave this field blank. 3/20, and there will only be an entry here if the representative is different to what you put in data element 3/18, the person making the declaration. If this is the case, the representative EORI number will be entered here. 3/21. If you're using an acting agent to deal with your declaration, they would enter 2 if they're acting on your behalf directly, or 3 acting indirectly. You may have discussed this with your agent when you approach them. If you're doing your own declaration, leave this blank as you'll already have entered a code earlier in data element 2/2 earlier to indicate this. 3/24. Only enter details here if the seller is different from the exporter and the seller doesn't have an EORI number. Otherwise, this can be left blank. 3/25. Only enter details here if the seller is different from the exporter and the seller does have an EORI number. If the same, this can be left blank. 3/26, and only enter details here if the buyer is different from the importer and the buyer doesn't have an EORI number. If the same, this can be left blank. 3/27. Only enter details here if the buyer is different from the importer and the buyer does have an EORI number. If the same, this can be left blank. 3/37. leave this field blank. 339. Enter code EIR, then your IORI number as the person authorised for delayed declarations. If you have customs duty to pay, you must enter codes DPO and CGU, followed by your IORI number, as payment will be taken from your duty deferment account. If any other authorizations have been entered into data element 2/3, a matching entry must be made here. For example, a customs warehouse authorization. 340. If you are VAT registered in the UK, enter your VAT number here. Otherwise, leave this field blank. Group 4. 4/1. And here you tell us about the contract terms for delivery. For example, if the sale price includes the cost of goods plus insurance and freight costs, the code is CIF. And to have them delivered to Tilbury, the code is GBTIL. So in this field, you'd enter CIF GBTIL. These codes can be found in the Tariff for CDS document on gov.uk. 4/3. If there is any payment due, such as customs duty, excise duty or import VAT, you need to enter the code for each type of tax due here. 4/4. This field is used to declare the basis on which the amount of tax due is being calculated. In a manual calculation, it's the value of the goods. In other instances, it's the measurement unit which identifies the calculation. For example, if the quantity is required in litres, you enter LTR followed by the amount. 4/6, and only complete this field for manual calculations. This is where you specify the amount of tax you'll pay for the goods and must be done for each tax type, that being customs and/or excise duty and import VAT if you're not VAT registered. 4/7. And again, only complete this field if there is a manual calculation. Here, you enter the combined total of customs and excise duty and import VAT payable. 4/8. If you're not VAT registered, you will need to enter E here, indicating that you will be paying customs duty and import VAT using your duty deferment account. If you are VAT registered, you'll leave the VAT field blank, as you'll account for import VAT on your VAT return using postponed VAT accounting. 4/9. And enter here any additions or deductions for working out duty, such as freight or insurance costs. 4/11. And this field can be left blank. 4/13. And only complete this data element where Valuation Method 1 is used. Enter code 0000. If any other code is required, you cannot use Method 1. Leave blank if this is the case. For information, there are 6 methods of valuation. Method 1 relates to the invoice price for the goods. 4/14. And this data element is for item level data. Enter the value of the specific goods item declared. For example, item 1, t-shirts, £100. Item 2, shoes, £100. 4/15. And only complete this field if you have a fixed rate of exchange with your seller. For example, if you're buying goods with a fixed conversion rate over a fixed period, you would state this here. Otherwise, it can be left blank. 4/16. And as previously stated, there are 6 valuation methods. The code you enter is the means by which your goods are valued. For example, for sale price, you'd use method 1. 4/17. And you must complete this box. You may be entitled to pay a reduced amount of duty, also known as a preferential rate, if your goods are covered by the UK's trade agreement with the EU. If your goods are covered by the UK-EU free trade deal and you're claiming the tariff preference, enter a code beginning with 3 to show the preferential origin status of your goods. If you're not claiming the tariff preference, you'll need to enter 1 here. Group 5. 5/8. And in this field, you'll enter the country of destination of your goods. Enter GB for Great Britain, IM for Isle of Man. 5/14. And this is a 2-digit code and is the country where your goods were exported from. For example, CY for Cyprus or PL for Poland. These details can be found by searching country codes for the Customs Declaration Service on gov.uk. This field must be completed if you entered 1 in data element field 4/17, indicating you're not claiming preference. Your goods are subject to an electronic license, or you entered a group code in data element 5/16. The country of origin code tells us where the goods were manufactured or where the last significant processing of those goods took place. 5/16. If you're claiming the tariff preference in data element field 4/17, you must complete this field if the code begins with 3. You can check table 5 on country codes for CDS to find out about preference group codes specific to this field. 5/21. If you've declared air freight in the additions or deductions data element box 4/9, you'll need to enter a 3-digit code for the airport the goods left from. For example, AMS for Amsterdam or DUB for Dublin. This is where the goods were located at the point of release to the import procedure, such as the port or airport where the goods arrived into Great Britain. 5/26. And this field can be left blank. The procedure code notes in Appendix 1 from Volume 3 of the Trade Tariff for CDS will inform you of what you must do if an entry here is required. This field is dependent on the customs procedure used in the declaration. Group 6. (6/1), and here we enter the net weight of the goods in kilograms excluding packaging. 6/2, and this could be, for example, litres or number of individual pieces. Enter details here if applicable. 6/5, and here we enter the gross weight of the goods in kilograms including packaging. 6/8, and add a detailed description so the goods can be easily identified. Describe each item accurately. For example, men's cotton shirt. Generic descriptions like clothes, stock numbers or print design descriptions are not acceptable. 6/9, and this could be a box or a bag. Enter the code that relates to the packaging. For example, a plastic box is code 4H and a wooden pallet is 8A. 6/10, and enter here the number of packages, not individual items. For example, if there are 5 packages, each containing 100 t-shirts, you'd enter 5. 6/11, and enter the mark that appeared on the packages. For example, if the package had a reference number on the outside, specify the reference number. There should be an equal number of references to the number of packages. 6/13, and this field only needs to be completed if you import certain chemical substances. Please see chapters 28 and 29 of the UK trade tariff for more information. The CUS number is the identification number assigned to chemical products in the European Customs Inventory of Chemical Substances, or ECICS, database. If the chemical isn't listed here, a full description of the goods must be entered in data element 6/8, description of goods. 6/14, and add the commodity code that corresponds with the description of the goods previously entered. You need to enter the first 8 digits of the commodity code, which can be found in the UK trade tariff. For example, fresh lemons, 08055010. 6/15, and the tariff code is the 9th and 10th digit of the commodity code. From this, customs will be able to tell if any duty is owed. 6/16, and here you enter the 11th to the 14th digits of the commodity code. Where no additional code applies, this can be left blank. Mersing codes, and such codes are needed for the import and export of goods containing certain types of milk and sugars. There's an online tool to help you with this. Other additional codes are needed where prohibition or restriction, anti-dumping measure, or specific tariff preference measure applies to the goods. These additional codes are shown as tariff measures in the UK trade tariff. 6/17 and enter the 15th or 18th digits of the commodity code, which is used to specify the rate of national taxes. For example, zero rated import VAT, excise duty. If the commodity code for your goods is entirely zero rated for import VAT, you must still enter the code VATZ to get the zero rating. Appendix 19 of the Customs Declaration Service Tariff provides an index list for these codes. (6/18) and enter here the total number of packages across all items. Group 7. 7/2 and enter 0 if the goods were not in a container, or 1 if the goods were in a container. 7/4 and here you enter the mode of transport used at the border to import your goods. 7/5 and leave this field blank if customs formalities for your goods were completed at the border. For example, EU goods coming into Great Britain through a roll-on, roll-off or RoRo listed location. You'll need to complete this field if your goods were stored in a customs warehouse before entering free circulation, or import formalities, that's clearance into free circulation, are carried out away from the border. 7/9 and enter the registration number or name of the means of transport. For example, ship's name or van registration number. 7/10 if your goods were imported in a container, enter the reference number here as per your shipping documents. 7/15 and this is the nationality of where your means of transport is registered. Group 8. 8/1 if you've claimed a reduced or nil rate of duty, you'll need to enter the relevant serial number for the goods as shown on the trade tariff tool. 8/2 if you're using your duty deferment account to settle any customs duty owing, because you're not VAT registered, you must complete this field. If you need to show a guarantee on the declaration, enter code 1. If you don't need a guarantee because you are using your duty deferment account for less than £10,000 per month, enter code 0. (8/3) if you need a guarantee and you entered 1 in the previous field, enter their reference number here. If you don't need a guarantee and you entered 0 in the previous box, enter guarantee not required, all one word, here. (8/5) and this code identifies the type of transaction being made. For example, 1, where there's a sales contact. 8/6 and this field can be left blank. after you submit. You'll get a customs response message in your software to tell you how much import VAT and customs duty you owe. We will take payment from your deferment account on the next available date that payments are processed. This is normally the 15th day of each month. Further help and support. If you have any problems when making your declaration and you're sure that you have entered all the information correctly, you can contact HMRC for help online, by using HMRC's digital assistant or web chat facility, by phone, or by post. And for more information, go to the gov.uk website. We're almost at the end of our webinar, and here's a slide that shows useful links, so please take a few moments to have a look. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.